I'm going to lock those. I'm going to zoom in. The teeth is like a piece of lettuce. So I'm going to draw the teeth.
So why do you do Command 2?
Command 2 or Control 2 locks it. When I'm using this curvature tool, if I don't lock it,
it will go all over the place.
Yeah, what happens is, let me go back. I want to, if I don't lock it, what happens is this curvature tool likes to select other pieces of things.
Yeah.
And it just gets difficult. So let's say I want to draw another line coming here, but what happens is it ends up selecting the original line that I drew. So to avoid that, I click on that original line here and I hit Control 2 to lock it. And actually, before I do that, I just want to fix I want to fix this part. I don't like how it's pointy, so I'm just going to drag my Beziers out like this. Okay. Yeah, so if I select this and then hit Control 2, it locks it. And then when I draw another line with the curvature tool and I get too close, it's not going to select that. It lets me draw another line without affecting the previous line that I drew. So it's just like kind of a habit that I form. Like, see how I have this line right here that I'm hovering over? If this was not locked, so you can go to the unlock, you go to Object, Unlock All. Now, if I wanted to draw another line that kind of extended down, like this line right here represents like the hamburger patty in the mouth. And then this line is going to be the bun down below. But if I want to use the curvature tool, whenever I get close to that one line to draw another line that extends out, instead of letting me draw a new line, it wants to select the original line. So that's why I lock it, I hit Control 2, and then when I go back to the curvature tool, I can draw and not have to worry about it affecting other lines.
On Mac, it's Command 2.
Yeah, on the Mac, it would be Command 2. See, that's not selected now, so it won't let me end it. So basically, I click on that, I hit Control 2, I go back to the curvature tool, and then it lets me do what I want to do. And then I hit Escape to finish it. And now I'm going to draw this bottom part. So I'm going to click here. So that's like the beginning of my little character for this campaign. And then I want to have the text going around it. So for that, I'm basically just going to draw an oval like this with the circle tool, do type on path, and say most, and then make that bigger. And then pick a font. So I'll go with my favorite, Bungie. And then you can select the path. Let's see, with the use the selection tool. Oops. And I can drag this around. So I have to drag. So I'm dragging this little line down below and I'm moving that type around. So maybe I want it up here. And then what I like to do to get like a nice perfect circle with the word on top and the word down below is I copy it. And then after I copy it, Control C or Command C, I hit Control F and it put a copy on top. And then I grab that line again and I drag that copy, and then you can kind of flip it if you want, you can flip it here. And the way it's on the baseline, what I like to do is go into type on path, and then type on path options. And then where it says align the baseline, instead of align the baseline, I say align to ascender, which is the top of the letter. And then it comes down like that, and then I can hit OK. And then I'll just kind of place it over here. And then I'll go back and retype it, and it's going to say wanted. So that's my goofy little logo for this. That's going to be used throughout. Maybe I'll just put that up there. Right, my little character, right? And then I'm going to go back here, get rid of my background. And, you know, I would spend more time on this. I would make the buns colored. I would go into the lines here too, and I would start to join the lines to get the bun and the hamburger patty. Maybe I'll just do that. So I want the two buns to be their own individual shapes along with the hamburger patty. So one thing I'll do is I will start to connect these shapes together. So I'm grabbing just the, kind of zooming in here, highlighting the 2 points. I think this piece is still locked, so I'm going to go to unlock all, and then grab these 2 points, hit Control J. Let's see. And I think it's grabbing something else in the process. I'm going to grab these. I want these pieces connected. So I'm actually going to cut, hit Control X, and go into a new layer, hit Control F, and then I'm locking down all the stuff on the bottom layer. And it's going to make it easier for me to select. And
So what does Control J does?
Control J is join. So if I zoom in here, if I do a Control Y, you can actually see they're two separate pieces. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
So, and if I do a Control Y, it's just showing me the vector without the stroke width. So it's just letting me see the line itself. That's a good way to check for gaps. Control Y or Command Y on a Mac, and then I can highlight the two ends and then hit Control J, and it connects it. You see I have a connection now?
Yeah.
One thing I like to do too is, see how the connection's kind of weird? It's not like straight. I like to go through and adjust it, or I'll just get rid of one of these points by hitting the minus sign on the keyboard and then clicking and then adjusting it. And then you can adjust it by hitting Shift C, and that's gonna let you drag out the Beziers like this and make it a little bit smoother. So just letting me adjust that a little bit. And then I'll go back here. Grab this, this is the top of the bun. So that's the top of the bun that I'm grabbing. This time I'll hit Control C to copy it, lock down that bottom layer, go to the top, hit Control F, and then hide everything down below. So I want to have a hamburger piece and like a top bun piece. So what I'll do with this is come here and go into my scissor tool. Here, right here, it's C is the shortcut as well. And then cut this there. Cut that piece there. And then grab the lower bun piece and kind of adjust it. And I can get rid of the top part. So that's the top of the bun. I'm going to get rid of it by hitting delete. is that I'm going to go back and grab these pieces. I'm joining that bottom part there, joining that part there. And then I can hit Control F and it's going to bring that top bun again. So now if I click on this part, pick a color, I can fill that part in there, fill that part in there. Grab my eyes. This is where I have so many layers. This is why I like to go into panel options, make those layers bigger so I can see everything. And then I can select the eyes here, the circles. Hit Control X, go to that top layer and Control, lock these. So now they're up there. And then I would go and make the bun part of it the same way. So same with the lettuce. Part, click on that, or click on the lettuce. So just kind of, oh, and I lost my, I lost the wanted part. Where did that go? Oops. But you kind of see what I'm doing, right? I'm just trying to make this into a character. You guys understand that? What I'm trying to do?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm making it into a character. You know, once it's done, I would probably do a couple things. I would make sure that the text is outlined. So I would go into Type, create outlines. Do that for the top part. Once I create those outlines, I don't need okay, it automatically gets rid of the original circle that went around it. I'll group my character together. And then what I'll do is I'll create a new library, and I want to bring this into my library so I can start to just drag this out and use it throughout the other pieces in the campaign. So I will go under Windows, Library, brings up your library. Click here and just go to Create New Library. And I would call this Most Wanted. Into the library, and now it exists in this library. And then what you can do is you can just drag it out again and then use it for other parts of the campaign. So there it is in the banner. There. So that's what's nice about the libraries is it will let you take these items and add them throughout. And for some reason, I don't want this like that. Drag this out again. See something. Okay, it was locked for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to grab it here just to show you again. Okay. So you can, once you have something set in this library, you can go into any of your applications and pull it up. And so for this, I have this element here. And then I can reuse it throughout pretty easily. So the other thing you can bring into your libraries are colors. So let's say I have a color theme that I'm using.
So you're pretty much doing the whole project on Illustrator.
Yeah, so you can use Illustrator. I just want to show you. So you, and your colors here, you can drag these colors into the library as well. If you hit the little plus sign and you pick fill color, it will throw that fill color into your library. So you have your fill colors, and then besides the fill colors, you can also add styles in there too. So let's say for this assignment, I want you to use 2 fonts. So, you know, say I have some text down below, and as part of this, I want you to think about serif and sans serif fonts. So a combination of serif and sans serif. So I got my sans serif font. For my serif font, I will pick let's see.
So where do you see serif and sans serif?
Serif and sans serif are the 2 different types of font families.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I went over this. A serif font has the little bracketed hooks at the end of the letter forms.
Yeah.
So for example,
like, are they under a certain category, like to find them under that category?
if you go into web type, Adobe web type, you can actually look based on the types of fonts. So Bodoni is a serif font. See how there's little hooks down there on the letter forms?
Yeah.
There's like bracketing at the end of the letter forms.
Mm-hmm.
So see that?
Yeah.
With the sans serif font, there is no bracketing.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of, here it has a rounded corner.
Yeah.
So I want you to combine in the design serif and sans serif fonts together. Think about this as, you know, the flyer part can be almost like an advertisement. So let's say this is the text I want to use. If you click on the plus sign in the library, you can add this as a character style. And if I click that, that's now a character style. You can do character styles and paragraph styles. And it will know the text fill color as well, and just the text itself. So if I click on T here under text, it will save that text. So I can drag that text out and I can use it again. So if you do that, you can go to, let's say, your banner, and I don't know why that artwork is faded out like that. There you go. But you can grab this text and you can add this text to the banner as well to keep it consistent. So you want to have consistency among each of these items in this campaign. And then you can do that throughout for everything. So what's nice about the library, once you have everything set up in your library, you can go into a different application. So I'll go into InDesign. Is there a question?
No.
How did you go from Illustrator to InDesign?
I'm just opening up InDesign. But I want to show you that the libraries are consistent. So if I create a document in InDesign, and I go into Window, it's weird though that the labeling of the types of menus are inconsistent. So in Illustrator, if I go back, you go to Window, and it's called Libraries. In InDesign, it's under CC Libraries, which is weird. So CC Libraries opens up this library, and then I can go into that Most Wanted campaign. It will show up right here. And here are the elements. So I can go into another application. And so there's my Most Wanted. Here's the red color. So if I want to add that red there, I can add that. Here's my text. And then I have this style set up too. If you double click on the style, it will appear in your style guides. So right here is that style. It was Bodoni. I can right click on this and I can edit and go to basic character formats, and you see that it's Bodoni and it's at that size that I set in Illustrator. So I was able to carry that style from Illustrator into InDesign using the library.
How did you bring it?
So when I'm in Illustrator, I create a new library. I drag things into that library. And then once I do it once, that library appears for all my applications in the Creative Cloud.
I see. Okay.
Right? So even I'll go into Photoshop. You'll see that it exists in Photoshop.
And so you draw a window library. You go into library through window.
Yes, you go into your window menu and you click on library.
Okay, and then you find it there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a great tool to use.